Hello BookTube! I have fallen off the book buying wagon quite drastically this week. Basically, I started off, because I haven't really bought books since we moved into our house, because I can't really afford to, and I went shopping and I had £20 left on a gift card, spent that, spent a lot more money as well, and things went badly. First, I have the PostBirthday World by Lionel Shriver. May I mention this gorgeous cover? They also seem to do quite a few of her books in these covers. I've never come across them before. They are Borough Press ones, cover designed by HarperCollins. They're just gorgeous. Like, a lot of her books are quite ugly. Like, she wrote We Need to Talk About Kevin, and most of the covers for that are quite nasty. The one I've got, I think, is the most popular one. Has a little boy on the front, and I don't like people on the front of covers really. On to what the book's actually about. From what I can gather, this is a sort of parallel universe book. It starts with one woman who has to make the decision whether she wants to break up her marriage, I think it is. Oh no, her reliable partner. So her long-term partner she's with, and she has to decide whether she wants to kiss this other guy and break everything up. And I believe, from what I can tell, that it splits off into what would happen if she did each thing. So what would happen if she did kiss this other guy and ended up with him, and what would happen if she stayed with her partner. It just sounds really interesting, and Lionel Shriver's writing I love anyway. We Need to Talk About Kevin is a beautifully written book, so it'll be really interesting to see what this one's like. Then I got Of Human Bondage by Somerset Maugham. I recently read The Painted Veil, which I had mixed feelings about. I liked the writing, but I felt the story was slightly lacking. This one's a lot thicker, so I'm hoping there'll be a bit more substance to it for me. It's basically about a relationship between two people, and I think it's obviously slightly twisted. It's quite masochistic and stuff like this, so it could be interesting. His writing I really like, which is why I want to try more of his. I just hope that this story sort of has more satisfying feeling at the end of it for me. Then I got Ali Smith's The Accidental. Now I've just started watching a new YouTuber who a lot of you probably already know about, called Jane Campbell, and she's amazing. And all the books she recommends I want to buy, which is probably a lot to do with why this book haul is so large and unexpected. So yeah, she will cost you money. I warn you, she will cost you money. But, you know, she recommends some amazing things, and she loves Ali Smith. I've never even picked up one of Ali Smith's books, I've got to be honest. But on her recommendation, I thought I'd give it a go. She's got all of them, basically. And one that she's spoken about in detail is this one, The Accidental, which basically is about... It's a girl that just walks into a family, and because they don't communicate with each other, everybody just assumes that she knows somebody in the family and that she's there with somebody. But actually, she's literally just walked into this family, and she sort of fits in because all of them assume that she's meant to be there, which I think sounds really interesting, and it's not too thick, so I thought I'd start with this one, and I'm quite excited to see how that goes. Then I got Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde. I picked this up totally on a whim because I saw it and recognised the title as being on my wish list from ages and ages ago. But I've read the first paragraph and I think I'm really going to enjoy this. Basically, from what I can gather, this is a sort of dystopian-y, sci-fi-y sort of thing where people are sort of in colours, I think. And so you get your reds who are all sort of the same, like whatever social standing I suppose you have a different colour. And a man who is in the red section, so I assume they're higher, whereas the greys are low. He falls in love with a grey, I think, and it's sort of the difference between them and how they make their relationship work. It just sounds really good, and I'm really excited for it. Then I have The Girl with All the Gifts. As you can see, this was covered in stickers that wouldn't come off. Hate that. But anyway, this is by M.R. Carey, and about a zombie apocalypse, I think, and somebody said it's a zombie apocalypse mixed with Matilda, so I think there's a girl involved in the zombie apocalypse that has powers, but we'll see about that. A lot of people have been raving about it recently, so I thought I'd pick it up for a good fun read, I think. Then I have The Book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber. This shouldn't have happened. I mean, it's big, it cost a lot of money. But again, Jane Campbell has been raving about this book. She said it's absolutely amazing and life-changing. And who can resist a life-changing book, really? Who? Basically, Pandora, stop that. Sorry, rabbits chewing my books again. She likes to do this when I'm filming. Yes, so this basically to me seems to be about a missionary who goes to another planet to spread the word of God, and obviously learns a lot about himself while he's doing it. It's a beautiful book, and I actually noticed underneath the slipcover there is a quote engraved on the hardcover that says, "I am with you always, even unto the end of the world." So that's really sweet, and I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth stuck into it. I'm really fighting the urge to read it before all the other books I need to read. Talking of fighting the urge to read books before all the other books I read, the book I'm reading at the moment is another book that I bought. It's The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. I had no desire to read this book, like, it's just not my cup of tea. It seemed silly to me, the idea of plants taking over the world, or alien plant things or whatever. But everybody has said how amazing John Wyndham's writing is, and I also love these. They're the penguin covers, so they've got all of them in these, so I'm going to get all of his books in these, I think. And everybody said how amazing the writing is. Now, I've realised recently that if a book is amazingly written, I don't really mind what it's about. And I have to say that is so the case with this. Basically, for those of you who haven't heard about this, it's about plants taking over the world, basically. I haven't got that far in. I'm only about 100 pages in, so I can't tell you much about it yet. But it's basically human-eating plants who are sort of herding everybody, and yeah, it's about the end of the world, really, as they know it. And it's really quite interesting. Our main character here, I think he's called Bill. He isn't blind. The rest of the world is blind. He and one other woman aren't blind. Him, because he was in hospital with his eyes bandaged when whatever has made everybody blind happened. So he's still got his sight, and the other woman was passed out basically when it happened. So she also has her sight, and they are sort of running from not only the plants but all the blind people who want to use their sight. And it's just really, really well written. I will read you a bit from the start because it just is amazing. The way I came to miss the end of the world, well, the end of the world I had known for close on 30 years, was sheer accident, like a lot of survival when you come to think of it. In the nature of things, a good many somebodies are always in hospital, and the law of averages had picked on me to be one of them a week or so before. It might just as easily have been the week before that, in which case I'd not be writing now. I'd not be here at all. But chance played it not only that I should be in the hospital at that particular time, but that my eyes, and indeed my whole head, should be wreathed in bandages, and that's why I have to be grateful to whoever orders these averages. At the time, however, I was only peevish, wondering what in thunder went on, for I'd been in that place long enough to know that next to the matron, the clock is the most sacred thing in a hospital. Just now, we have Julian Barnes' The Sense of an Ending. This I sort of toyed with picking up for a very long time. I think I've heard mixed reviews. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said it's a disappointment, but because I haven't got huge expectations of it, I think it's going to be quite good for me. It won the Man Booker in 2011, so I don't know whether that's why people have gone into it with a lot of high hopes and been slightly disappointed, but hopefully I will enjoy it because I'm not expecting much. From what I can tell, this is about a boy who, he had a friendship when he was in college. He is now older, and something from his childhood or that friendship has emerged to make him realise that he maybe doesn't remember everything quite how it happened. So could be interesting. It's only a thin little book anyway. Then completely, this is where things just completely went off the kilter. Middlemarch by George Eliot. I don't know, like, it just happened. It was there, and it was a vintage one, so I bought it. But what I know of this book is that it's a sort of quite a long classic, again about just life and rich and poor and literature and society and politics and just human life in general. It's quite big, and I'm hoping it's not too wordy, but I have a feeling that I've never picked this up because it is wordy. So yeah, things just fell apart. They did. Then I got the collected short stories of D.H. Lawrence. I've always quite liked the writing of D.H. Lawrence. It's quite heavy going, but really good at the same time. And I've never read his short stories. I didn't know he had any. I saw this in a charity shop and picked it up, and I think it'll be quite good. Obviously, I started reading and it's different, obviously, because it's older. It's very different to the short stories I'm used to reading, but I still think it'll be an enjoyable read. And I realised on the back it's got, I assume, what is an extract of D.H. Lawrence's writing. It's not really a sort of readable. I can't really see what much of it says. It's quite small, but I think that's a really cute touch. And that's everything. So that was my wagon, well and truly fell off of. But, you know, these things happen. We can but get back on and try again. Bye.